Hello, trading is closed on the 20th of December, 2023. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer, go over our calls, and make some predictions. It's my trading plan for tomorrow, which is Thursday, December 21, 2023. Please remember, my calls can be wrong, trade at your own risk. Also, I have personal business in the morning, and I might not take any of these trades myself. Looked at the pattern today with the early high, tends to have a late low. That work tended to be an understatement. And tomorrow's pattern should also have the early high. We said there was a chance of gapping down at the open, which is what we did. We had a target of 4756.33. Now the initial drop missed it by about 51 cents. There is a tolerance for these targets in the system, but that's too much. So that didn't satisfy the target, which remained outstanding at that point. And there is support under the target, but once the support is tested, it's gone. So when that did print and the support was tested again, there was no support there, and we got a collapse, which is one of the options we discussed in yesterday's video. After nearly 2 years, we finally get to cross the last higher MEJT target from 2022 off the list, 47.70.79, and at first it was support. It actually went a bit higher than support, higher than this level than I expected it to, but eventually it became resistance, and when that fell, prices just collapsed. This is a reminder of what we said. So we often had gapping down. We had the tomorrow combo sell signal. And tomorrow has the early high. Early on, MEJT said this move is false. We retraced. Now it says this drop is false. Going to retrace. If we don't gap down smartly, it says we'll see 47.76.80. I don't think that's going to happen. MEJT typically leaves a failed target at major changes in trend, which this certainly appears to be. So I'd be surprised if that printed tomorrow, but the number never goes away, just the time, and at some point we should see that price, meaning no matter how far we drop here, I think we'll recover. Well, yesterday we got bar 13 of the DeMarc combo sell signal. We said if we closed over 47.38.57, we'd have a very negative signal from him, a 9.13.9 sell. Well, we closed under that, so there's no signal. But he does have a rule saying the last bar can complete early. So if you use that rule, you can still say it's a 9.13.9 sell. In any event, it's a pretty significant drop. Like any move, it needs to be confirmed, meaning it doesn't mean anything unless we trade at least 1 cent under today's close. I think that's going to happen, but it doesn't have to happen tomorrow. If this is going to be a complete collapse, you want to go under this TDST line, 43.47.35, within 3 days, 3 bars. I don't think that's going to happen. It's just too far away. So even if we do get a drop here, I think it's going to recover. That doesn't mean it won't be a substantial drop. Now, we had 10 MEJT targets which weren't satisfied at the end of last year. It's down to 1. We get about 650 targets a year. So far, one of them didn't print, the others did, so I guess 1 out of 650 isn't too bad. Since the end of 2016, when we had 10 targets which didn't print, we have just about 6 years completed. We have 8 standard and 1 ultimate target which haven't printed. So about 650 targets a year, 6-year period, 9 haven't printed. And so you can see why when we have 10 targets, not counting the one from today, from this year which haven't printed, I think it's pretty much a given that at some point we're going to see some, if not all, of these targets print. So we do have much lower prices coming up at some time, but that doesn't mean they have to come up now. Remember, today's target, that printed nearly 2 years ago. But I do think we're going to have a drop here. I do think some of these are going to be knocked off. Now, we said yesterday, if this trend line broke, because you have a straight line with an upsloping handle, that the whole thing retraces. So that gives us a target down here in the 4500s. And we have a fit retrace around 4520. So that's one possible target, is in the 4500s. Now, we traveled about 162 points over the FOMC announcement price, which was 4616. If we travel more than that, under it, that's a drop of over 330 handles from today's high. It gives us around 4440-ish, and that would be a 50% retrace if that were to happen. So we have a possible target here, low 4500s, and one in the 4400s. Of course, you don't have to stop there. I mean, you could go down 61.8%, but if we drop that much from here, that might be enough. I don't know. Those are all possible targets. Now here we had this blue trend line. You went up to it and couldn't break it. If you're gonna, we said yesterday, if you're gonna go higher, you really want to gap over it. We now have the opposite situation. We have this red trend line, drop to it in a straight line. If you're going to continue uninterrupted from here, you really should gap under that line. And you might, but it certainly isn't a given. You just have to go under the close at some point. It's at least possible that we have a recovery here because we have 5 waves down and the wall into the close. Those things will often gap up. I mean, we have this target, but I don't think that's going to print. But we've had a strong impulse up. This should be a corrective wave down, and since it's a 5-wave structure and isn't a 3, I don't think that wave is complete. This could be an A, it could be an A wave. That could be a 5, but it could either be in a C. Now I can count 5 waves up here, but I just can't count this decline as complete even if we go up tomorrow. Well, let's sum things up. Thursday's pattern has the early high. It doesn't tell us where we open. There's a higher MEJT target. Unless we gap down smartly, rules call for it to print. Target's very far away. System typically leaves a failed target or major changes in trend, so I don't think it's going to print, at least not tomorrow. Today's reversal is supported by the technical picture. We've been mentioning it for over a week. Still needs confirmation by trading under today's close. Doesn't have to happen tomorrow because we have 5 waves down, a wall into the close, and the VIX reading over its upper Bollinger Band. Since the drop counts as a 5 and is a corrected wave, the decline can't be complete if that's the right count. If the decline is to continue unabated, we should gap down tomorrow. Once confirmed, meaning we have to trade under today's close, decline has a target somewhere in the 4400s to the low 4500s, and that's a target. That's not necessarily a stop and reverse. The decline should recover completely at some point, because we've just completed a quarter-century consolidation followed by an impulsive wave up. Whenever this drop is over, I think we're going much, much higher. But again, this drop, if it's confirmed, has significantly lower price targets, which actually should give us a chance to get in at a nice price. So tomorrow has the early high. If we're going to drop in this, if we're going to keep on dropping from here, you really want to gap under this, at least gap under it, at the very least, you want to confirm this by trading under the close. But even if we don't trade under the close, I don't see how this can be the end of the drop. And that's today's call.